change very much unless you do an extreme. If you do extremely well on the final or you do extremely poor on the final, that's going to move your grade the most. So, Stirrup, that's me. Stirrup right now has an 86.23% in the class. Still with me on this adventure? Okay, no, my grade's actually much lower than that, but let's just play. All right, so let's see, how should we do this? Well, I know this is the same thing as 0.8623. Agree? So everything you've done for the semester in this class right now is worth 85% of your semester grade. So I'm going to change 85% to 0.85. Still with me? So, question for you, my friends. What grade do you think I should or hope to get in this class? Legitimately. Should I get an F? C and above. C and above? Okay. So what I'm going to do is this. Now, I'm the teacher that always does this. If you can get to the 79 or get to the 89, that's going to count as the A minus or the B minus. Okay. I won't have the A minus or B minus put in right away. It will go in after I got all my grades done. Then I'll go back through by Friday. So, friends, if you're looking at your grades and you see a 59 point something and it still says F, don't panic. If it says 69 point something and it still says D, don't panic. It says 79.9 or 79.0, whatever. Don't panic. That still says C. Don't panic. I take care of you. You have my word. I have to manually go back and change it. Okay? And the reason I don't change it right away is because, well, one, we're fortunate because this test is on Thursday, right? So there's tests that will be taking place in other classes on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Or, excuse me, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Is that right? And Friday. So by Thursday afternoon, I bet you we would have a pretty good feel for what the curve would be. Being I have the only fifth period Algebra 1 class that would take it on Friday, that means that all the other Algebra 1 classes, we've pretty much figured out the curve. My fifth period class probably is going to change the curve. Okay, we'll just have the majority in. Okay, so for my final exam, so do you think that I'm looking to get the B? Is that what I'd be hoping to get? Yeah. So that means that I need to get to the 79%. Agree? Still with me on this? Okay, now, if I get the 79, I'm going to put a B minus in. A B minus doesn't really count less than a B. It's just B minus is just, hey, you were right on the border. So I'm hoping to get a 79. So that means I have this final exam to study for. So I don't know what the score I need to get is yet, is X. But I know because the final exam in here is worth 15%, which is 0.15, I can do this math. Does anyone have a calculator I can borrow? Or you have a phone? If you have a phone, will you do this for me? Oh, you got, oh, thank you. Oh, you're perfect. You're beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go 0.8623 times 0.85. Oops, clear. 0.8623 times 0.85 equals. So if I do the math right here, that means 73.7329. Okay, so if I didn't even take the final, That's what my grade in the class is, 73%. Stirrup feels a little bit better about himself because Stirrup can't fail the class. Okay? So, plus 0.15x, because that's what this is, equals 79 as a decimal is 0.79. Agree? Does this look kind of like a two-step equation? Yes, we have decimals, but does it look like a two-step equation?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go minus 0.7329 minus 0.7329. Those cancel, so I get 0.15x equals 0.79 minus 0.7329 equals, still with me on the math? Get x by itself. I'm going to divide each side by 0.15. Oops, I messed up. 0.0571 divided by 0.15. Oh, wait a minute. How much did my anxiety just drop?
Probably a lot.
Okay. Now, so theoretically, do you think somebody who is earning an 86 in here right now is really going to get a 38.1% on the final?
If they don't care.
I mean,
Maybe if they did this exact math.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. Because it's multiple choice, and there are 35 questions, by you just arbitrarily putting numbers in, I should score higher than that just because the chances that I guess them all incorrect is huge. I could guess without even doing any work and score at least that, statistically speaking. Okay? So my point showing you this math is this. There are so many students that say, I'm going to study so hard because I want to try and get 100% on the final. And my question usually back to that student is, have you gotten 100% on any of the tests or quizzes during the semester? Well, no. So why are you studying so hard to think you're going to get 100% on the final when you don't need that high? And I'm trying to take a little off the plate. Because there's a lot of anxiety. A lot of times people are looking through the review going, oh man, I need to go over these three problems over and over and over and over and over and over. And you're like, but you're stressing so hard about something that you don't necessarily have to stress on. Yeah, I want you to do the best you can. I want you to do the best you can on all your finals. But be smart about when you're studying. Okay? Even if I would have gotten 100% on the final, I would not have moved out of the B range. It's not a big enough test to move my grade that is in, on this example, 86.23. It's impossible for me to get to the A mathematically. I basically need about 117% on the final. Well, you can only earn 100% on the final as the highest mark. So why would I study so hard to try and get 100% when the 100% isn't going to move my B that I've earned for the semester? Okay, and I'm trying to give you good thoughts because I know a lot of times the anxiety is, I'm going to study so hard, I'm going to lose sleep, I'm not going to eat well. I got Doritos and Rock Stars that are going to keep me up all night so I can study. And then all of a sudden, you come in and you do poorly because you studied so hard. You overstudied. You overworked yourself in order to earn a mark. Now, granted, would I love every kid to get an A? Sure. But the reality is there's no reason for every student to earn an A. If you are not an A student, don't worry. Life moves on. You'll be successful in life if you don't earn straight A's. Yes, I understand parents a lot of times will put the pressure on you to say, get the A. You got to get straight A's. My dad used to do the same thing to me. You got to get straight A's. I I couldn't deal with the pressure. That was not I was not a straight A student. Okay? Now, I will tell you I graduated in the top 22% of my graduating class from high school, and I had a graduating class smaller than Cherry Creek's. My graduating class was about 600 students, so I was in the top 22%. Friends, I will tell you, I graduated with almost a B average. It was like a 2.96. Okay? Now, I hope you've kind of learned this off of me. I'm pretty content with life. Has life been easy? No. I've had my trials just like you have your trials, and you have errors, and it's okay if you stumble a little bit along the way. But please, just know this. When you come to your studying, one, take care of yourself first. You don't want to walk into winter break where you've mentally and physically drained yourself so much to be perfect, and you don't get perfect, and then it's a big letdown for you. It's really okay. And again, I don't want students to fail, but unfortunately, we do have students who are failing this class. Of my 3 periods, I think I have 12 kids that have Fs. Okay? But why do those students have Fs? Well, they might have an F right now because they might owe me tests and quizzes that they haven't done. They might have Fs because we've seen them a handful of times. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, oh, my parents expect me to get. Let me ask you this. Was your parent the straight A student?
I dropped out of high school to have me, so I feel like that's not apples.
So, okay. But I mean, it's real life, right? And, I feel completely blessed and honored that your mom had you because you made me a better person being here. Pretty cool, huh? You had no idea you had that kind of impact on my life. I wouldn't be this person I am right this very second if you weren't here.
Like me specifically?
You specifically. Anybody, any student who's come through my classes has made me the person I am this very moment. Would I really change who I am this very moment? No, I'm pretty darn happy with life. So think about that. I'm trying to lift you all up, realizing that, nobody I've had as a student have I ever been like, gosh, I wish they weren't here. Every student I have had in my career of 26 years has molded me into this exact person I am this very second right now. And I think I'm an okay person. Yeah, I know some people might, oh, Mr. Sharp's a big jerk. But I'm just trying to convey you a positive message that you made a difference in my life. Every kid in here, every kid I have, every period of every day of every year has made me better because of who you are. I don't know of a lot of people that would say that, because I'll sit there. Don't get me wrong. I've listened to teachers. They're bitching and moaning about kids they have. Oh, I got this kid that. Oh, I got this kid that. It's like, you realize because you have that kid, that kid, and that family, and that the dynamics of that has made you into the person in which I'm having this conversation with you right this very second, which is pretty cool. Are there people in life I don't like? Yeah. Are there students that I have that I don't like? No. There's so much more to a student than who a student is. Now, there's definitely people that I have come across in my life where it's like, what a jerk. But unfortunately, that jerk has actually molded me into this person as well. So, as far as the finals go, yes, I understand everyone wants to do perfect on it. And this weekend and Monday, for some of you, might be a very stressful time because you have pressures that are being put on you that probably shouldn't. I want you to come in on Thursday when we have this final and say, you know what? I feel well rested. I'm at a calm about this test. Okay? Please know this. If you're not failing at this point, I'm not going to let the final fail you. Now, there might be the student who has the 80% right now, comes in and gets a 6% on the final, and they drop to a 77%. Yeah, that kind of stinks. But I don't think that's going to happen. I want you to feel comfortable about who you are walking in. I don't want you to feel, I don't need to see you saying, it looks like you combed your hair with your pillow because you haven't slept really well because you set your alarm 4 different times in the middle of the night so you wake up in the middle of the night to study. I'm just trying to be real. I'm not trying to discount your education, but you as a person is bigger than any high school or college grade. You are the important one. Okay? And it saddens me when I have conversations with parents. And so just so you know, if you have been in this district for a certain amount of time, I can see every grade book of every student that's come through. And there'll be times where, if I call a parent, first thing I do is I pull up the historical grades. The second thing I pull up, and this is really bad to me, I pull up the net access summary, meaning I can tell who has looked at your grade, the date they looked at it, and when they looked at it, and how often. And I've had parents say, this is, my student's a straight A student. Meanwhile, I'm going back and I'm looking at middle school, high school, any other classes. No, your student's not a straight A student. I can see all that. I'm not trying to disprove a parent, but a lot of times if someone says, hey, my kid's a straight A student, and I go back and I take a look saying, oh my gosh, they really are a straight A student. What did I not do? But that's already something that I've already looked at on each and every one of you before you even got to my class. That I took a look at the summer. Okay, and yes, if you enrolled in my class after, start of the year, once you enroll in my class, I do that before I even meet you that day, because it shows up on my Power School saying, hey, Johnny is going to be in your class. So I look up before you even meet Johnny. But the sad thing is there's times I've talked to parents saying, I had no idea my child was doing so poorly. And I'm looking at the net access summary, and it's like, is your email, johneatstacos@hotmail.com? Yeah? Boy, there's something that happened with my IT department. I have to double check. Why is that? Well, I see that your email address has checked your child's grade in my class 866 times so far this semester. So we've obviously got a glitch in our system. And I kid you not, I have more parents saying, no, I lied. I knew how bad my kid was doing. Wow. That's not, I don't hold that to you all, if a parent is fibbing to me to try and broadcast that perhaps I am not being the unbelievable teacher that I think I am. I mean, do I make mistakes? All the time. But here's the thing. I know what I've done over my career. I know that I have students that have been very successful. I also know that I have students that aren't successful. Heck, my medical class that I have that meets for juniors and seniors, which all of you should take when you're a junior or senior. This year I had 8 different former students that took my class that are now in the medical profession come back and talk. That's pretty huge. Now you realize this, I had 8 students. I have about 100 students in my class each year. Over the past, how many years have I taught the medical class? This is the 16th year. 100 times 16. 1,600 students. Well, more than that. Huh. So I had only 8. But does it work? Oh. My thing is, do you want to go into medicine if you take this class? Maybe. If you leave the class at the end of the semester, medicine's not what I want. Medicine is what I want. If you can answer that question one of 2 ways, the class did what it should. So my reason for showing you this is twofold. I want you to realize, 1, your grade doesn't define who you are as a person. 2, why study for something that's so hard because you want to ace something, but the aced grade, the 100%, wouldn't even have moved the 86% to an A. Okay? And I'm not saying don't study. I'm not saying that at all. That is not my message. I'm just trying to say study appropriately. Learn, know what you know how to do it well. If there are like a handful of things going, gosh, I'm just not sure, Mr. Serp keeps showing that cover graphing. I just don't get it. Well, the whole test isn't cover graphing. So if you're like, the cover graphing I'm not really getting, and then when he has, f at x equals 20 and f at x equals 25x plus 7, I'm not sure how to do that. If those are the 2 things you don't know how to do, you're going to do just fine. Now, if you go and you look at the review packet I've given you, and you're like, I don't get any of this stuff, well, I might have not done as well as I thought as a teacher. But let's take a look at, let's see. Problem number 43, skip it. 43, skip. The reason I say skip 43, I don't know what the inequality sign should be. I didn't have an inequality sign, so I don't know where I should have shaded. I'm sorry. I goofed up. So I'm going to go to number 44. So 44 looks like this. Okay, so we're going to graph this like normal. Where's my y-intercept on this problem? 4. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a dot. My slope is what? That's my slope, right? So I'm going to go down 1 and right 2. Okay. Does this make a solid or a dotted line? Solid. There's an equal part, so this is going to be a solid line. And then what should I do to figure out where to shade? Who remembers? How do I shade? Yeah. Yeah, what point do you want to use? I like 0, 0. 0, 0 is easy. It's easy to plug zeros in for an answer. So 0, 0, does everyone agree that 0, 0 is underneath the line? If 0, 0 gives a true statement, that means I'm going to shade the side of the line that 0, 0 is on. If 0, 0 gives a false statement, I'm going to shade the other side of the line that 0, 0 is on. Does that make sense? So let's take 0, 0, plug it in. So I get 0 is less than or equal to negative 1/2 times 0 plus 4. 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 4. Is 0 less than or equal to 4? True or false? That's true, right? So that's a true statement. That means I'm going to shade the side of the line that 0, 0 is on. So I go and look at my answers. Well, I can eliminate B and C right away. Those are dotted, right? So now it's just a choice between A and D. Which one do you think it would have to be? It has to be A. D is shifted too far down. It looks like it'd be a parallel line to what we have drawn, but it has to be answer A because that's the only one that's close enough to our drawing. Okay. Number 45. Now, if number 45 was on the final, number 45 is on the final, like that, and those were the answers that were given. What does the answer have to guarantee to be? A solid line. Which one's the only solid line? Yeah. Does that make sense? Now, I agree the answer should be B. Okay? But let's just go ahead and work it. This one is set up as a cover method, so I'm going to go 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0. Okay? So this is an x value, cover of x, y equals 1. Oh, that's easy. This is a y value, x equals 1. Oh, wow, that one handed right to us. So we have to say, okay, 0, 1's up here. 1, 0's right here. Solid line. Let's pick 0, 0, see if a 0, 0 works. 0 plus 0 is greater than or equal to 1. Is 0 greater than or equal to 1? True or false? False. So we said the answer is B, but does this convey that that really is the answer? Now, I don't know if we will give you an actual gimme like that, where I have one of them. I would say if you get to the shading problems, know if you have this or this, the line is solid. And if you have this or this, it's dotted. So before you even start the problem, go and look at the answers. Going, I know it's got to be solid line. Look down at the answers. Are they all solid lines or are some of them dotted? If some of them are dotted, cross them out right away. Those are not the answer. Okay? All right. We are on to number 46. 46. We have x minus 3y is equal to negative 3. We want to write it in slope-intercept form, which is this. And friends, I will put up on the board, this is slope-intercept form. So this means I want to get y all by itself. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Those cancel. Negative x minus 3. Divide everything by negative 3. Okay, those cancel. Y equals negative or negative is positive. Minus 1. Oh, positive 1. Positive 1. Sorry about that because I had negative here. Which one's that one? A? A is the answer. For 47, you have 0, comma 12. What's special about 0, comma 12? Yeah, that's the y-intercept. The y-intercept is b. Agreed? So if you have y equals mx plus b, do you have enough information to solve this answer? I hope so. The slope is 7. Bring the x along. Plus 12. 7x plus 12. A. That's an A if you don't decipher my stuff. 48. Y equals 2/3 x minus 6. We want to know the slope of a parallel line. What do you know about parallel slopes? Yeah, it's got to be the same. So what's the slope of my given line? What? 2/3? That's my slope. So a parallel slope, that means parallel, has to also be 2/3. So take a look at on 48. I have 2/3. Looks like A. Oh my gosh, we are in the world of A's on this one. We didn't get too creative mixing these up. We've probably mixed them up on the test. 49. They want to know what the perpendicular slope would be. Well, what's my slope of this line?
7/1.
Yeah, my slope is 7/1 right now. This means perpendicular. Okay, so I'm going to flip the fraction over and change the sign. It was positive, now it's going to be negative. D. Oh, good, we finally mixed it up. Is that all right? 50. Number 50. We have 2y equals 8x plus 7. Hey, friends, do I know what the slope is right now of this equation? Or is there some mathematical thing I should do first?
Divide by 2.
Yeah, divide everything by 2. Now, it doesn't matter to me that I got 7 over 2 for that. I'm looking more at this. This is my slope. Okay? So my slope is 4 over 1. I want to know what the perpendicular slope would be. 1 over 4 and what else? Negative. Okay, so I just need to look at all my equations. Which one has a negative 1/4 slope? Oh, we're back to our A's. Okay, negative 1/4 is perpendicular. Negative 2/7 is not. 4 is not. Negative 4 is not. So negative 1/4 is our perpendicular slope. Almost done. 51. 4y minus 7x equals 8. And you have this point. What can you tell me about this point that's given right here? What's 7? What is this 7 right here? That's my b value, right? So y equals mx plus b. So right now I know y equals mx plus 7. Agree? All right, so let's take a quick look at the answers. What answer does it have to be? Well, we want to say A right now, but is that truly the answer? So which equation of line is parallel to the given, and it goes through this point? Well, this point does not necessarily mean it's on this particular line. This means I have a point 0, 7. So whatever my equation is going to be, it's going to have this for my y-intercept. So this has to be answer A. Now, if I'm not sure, I'm going to go add 7x to both sides. 4y equals 7x plus 8. Divide by 4. This is my slope. I want parallel, right? So that's my slope. So I'm going to plug 7/4 in there. That truly is A. Okay, but it is possible that you might be able to, on our homework, we can eliminate 3 of the 4. I bet you can eliminate at least one of them if you understand what the y-intercept is. 0, comma, a number is the y-intercept. 52. I'll put the slope equation up on the board for you for the test, so don't panic about that. All right, x1, y1, x2, y2. Slope equation's this. Negative 5 plus 5, because it was negative and negative. Negative 4 minus 5. So I get 0 over negative 9. So I have a slope of 0. What kind of line is a slope of 0? I know it's straight, but what kind of straight line? Horizontal? So if a slope is 0, it's a horizontal line. Horizontal line is one of our special cases, agree? So that means it's y equals. What's the only repeating number in the y's? Negative 5. That's my equation. Okay? So, B. Last problem of the year. Last problem of the year. 53. Are one of those points special? Meaning, is it a y-intercept? If so, which one's the y-intercept?
-1.
Yeah, that's my b value. Okay? So again, I'm trying to get to this. So right now, I can guarantee I know this. Okay, so let's see. It's either A or it's D. Agreed? So now I'm down to a 50-50 shot versus a 1 in 4 shot. I have a 1 in 2 shot. So I'm guaranteed A or D has got to be the answer. So it's A or D. Now let's figure out what it'll be. So I want to go, all right, I'm going to find the slope, y2 minus y1. over x2 minus x1. We'll label it x1, y1, x2, y2. 0 plus 1 because it's minus minus. 4 minus 0. 1/4 is the slope. Answer has to be A all day long. Friends, anything on this sheet come Monday we can talk about. If you don't see it on the sheet, I don't know if I would go and study it. Okay? But you definitely want to hand me that sheet the day we take our final. It's going to be really unmotivating when a kid comes in going, oh, I didn't have time to finish it. What did I do in class? It's finished. Cool? I hope my hard